It's just going to take a moment or two.
Okay. Will you ever like do a screen share or anything like that, or?
It's going to take a I can do that. Yeah, so we're live now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I'm not ready for that.
That's okay. And I can do a screen share too if there's anything that we wanted to bring up. But hey everybody, welcome to the live. This is my good friend CeCe, and thank you so much for joining me today, CeCe. I'm so happy to have you here.
Me too. I'm so happy to be here, Leigh. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor, and I'm really enjoying what you're doing. I think it's important bringing these conversations and bringing people together. I like this very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So CeCe and we met in a mastermind program that we started earlier this year. I think it was in March, and then it just recently wrapped up. So we've spent about the last 9 months, seeing each other online on a pretty regular basis and getting to know each other. And then we also got the opportunity to meet in person in Costa Rica, which was amazing.
It was so magical.
And I learned that CeCe is just like this amazing woman of like so many hats. Like you do so much and you have so much experience. I was just blown away when you started to share, what you do and everything that you know.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. And it's about bringing that all together. How do you bring so much together and funnel it into an attractive, engaging and focused way. I think a lot of us are alchemists, creative alchemists.
Yeah, because it can be really easy to get scattered with all of that, and it can get really overwhelming when there's just so much.
When there's so much. I think that's a great, I think, leadway. Having so much and life being so much. I'm an artist, and I met Leigh during the pandemic, in the midst of it, in the mastermind. And I was also previously had been in the mastermind before I met you with another group of people. And that was like my saving grace, being in the mastermind. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to do something. And what did occur, it was very, very like, going into a routine and having support. My routine became my morning pages and reviving, going back to the artist way that I'd done in 1995, when I was a young woman and my daughter was going to swimming lessons. I would be reading Shakti Gawain, creative visualizations, and all these thought-provoking, new age, no, maybe not so new age ways of being. And I became a massage therapist about 30 years ago. Yeah, so I think for myself, I just reflecting that a lot of magical or serendipitous, and maybe not so, because in my thought field, I brought things to me. Such as when I moved to Japan when I was just 20 and I was just married. And I always wanted to do yoga. And I knew nothing about being in the military because he was in the military. Oh, we have a lag. But anyways, that's where I began. Like, walked on fire and did yoga and belly dance and did all these things, and then consciously brought my daughter into the world. We had planned it. So that was like my foundation when I was just 20, and this is in the early 80s. And when I returned home, it was really kind of hard to maintain like my vegetarianism, yoga, moving back to a small town. But I continue to be in that space, my creativity, the art, and then things kind of sped up, a divorce, and then all my dreams started just being piled up in the garage in a box. And but there would be moments where I got to open them up, or I was living it, teaching art, being an assistant for an amazing woman that had an amazing art collection. But then things happen, maybe some tragedies in life. So my thing's about reviving dreams. So during the pandemic, I didn't sit around and be an idle. I had to keep moving. And by going back to the morning pages, it fed my soul. So it's what I'm all about right now is like, gaining your confidence in consistency, and in that consistency, clarity. You meet your clarity, and you're in your flow. So dusting off those dreams, and being consistent. I'm able to, I created a program for other people, mainly for women, midlife, struggling to find themselves again, kind of reviving that person that they were. And then when life just sort of took them away, and how to come back and anchor into your creativity. Yeah. So it's been an amazing couple of years, and learning how to live in both and. Both and means is like, I'm also, part-time. I've gone back to a part-time healing.
Yeah, sorry.
job.
I think I might, either you or me, someone's having some internet. I think it might be me. So sorry about
Okay.
that. Just wanted to go
If it's
back
all
to
like
when you
that, then
mentioned
we can
walking on
always
fire, because that is, to me, that is so fascinating.
well, yeah. And if we have to do this,
Where you
we can not have to. I don't like to use the word have to. It's like we get to. We're blessed to do the interview over again if it's like got a lot of glitches, or if you want to go back to different things that we've walking on fire. So let's kind of go back to walking on fire for a moment. Let me just remember, oh my God. Okay, so I got into yoga a year and a half. I lived in the island, Okinawa, for about 3 years and a half. So it was about a year into it that I met my yoga teacher. And I knew nothing about, yoga back then. I think I was like I would wear like tons of CR. Oh my goodness, I lost you. I can't hear you.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm having some internet issues. I'm trying to film from a new place in the house.
You know what it is?
So
I know that if I'm not near that whole computer boxy thing, could you move?
yeah, well, I can't right now. But I am near, I've got like one of those internet extender port thingies. So I'm near one of those. I'm gonna try to shut off my Wi-Fi on my phone, because that might be competing. And if we still have problems, I'll see if I can move somewhere else.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it seems to
okay.
be okay.
Oh, you stopped again.
Did I stopped again? Okay, hold on 1 second, okay?
Yes, yeah, not a problem. Well, if I'm still live, I wonder.
All right, I'm going to shift us, and we're still alive, and that's okay. life happens.
Yeah, life happens.
I'm going to shift us over to another room. But yeah, like I heard you, if you could touch, I would love for you to touch on your experience of walking on fire and what
Yes.
that was like for you, because like that is so fascinating to me. I was
Yes.
like, what is that like? What is that process
yeah.
like? How does one even prepare themselves to do something like that?
Okay, so it was definitely something that needed prepping. And so I remember we went to somebody's house that lived by the beach, because we're on an island here on Okinawa. And he was a parapsychologist. That's what I remember. Yes, he was a parapsychologist that was leading the fire walk, and he had led many. And then we had somebody that was an Okinawan, that he lived there, a civilian, and he was a hypnosis therapist. And not that I was being hypnotized to do this, but we did lots of meditation during the day, and we did a lot of discussion about mind over matter, and why people would walk on fire. And we watched different movies. So we watched some movies about different people going into different kinds of states of trance. Like we watched people in the South dancing with rattlesnakes, okay, and just doing things like that. So we just sort of just watched different cultures, and we talked. We had like this discussions, and so it was about the element of getting beyond fear, and why would people do something like that? What are we doing here? And we did a lot of meditation, and I don't know. Okay, so we did a lot of shavasana. We did a lot of yoga. This is the day. This is the day, like how the day was going. We started in the morning, and it was a full moon, and it was an auspicious full moon. I think it was like Buddha's birthday full moon. Some kind of enlightenment. I mean, I was 20 and I don't really remember. It was like, oh my gosh, 38 years ago. So my husband at the time, he put these like heat stickers on the bottom of his feet, because we wanted to see how hot it was going to be, or something like that. And mind you, if his feet would have gotten burned, he would have gotten in trouble, because he was in the military at the time. So I think they're like, why do you want to do this? I remember the question being asked, why do you want to do this? And I thought to myself, I was like, well, if I could do this, I could do anything. That's what I remember my young 22-year-old saying. So I'm just trying to think about all this. Okay. And then we had this meditative hypnotherapist. I remember he did something on our third eye, and he was like, can open your eyes. You won't be able to open your eyes. And remind you, I wasn't hypnotized to walk on fire. It was just about a state of being in these different mind shifts. So that was interesting, where I remember I couldn't open my eyes. And then he just like, you can open your eyes now. And I opened my eyes, and just feeling the body in different ways in the mind. Okay, so we're now at the beach, and we've made this amazing huge fire. And then they spread out the coals. It's about like 6-7 feet. And there was one discussion about how are you going to walk across, to kind of walk, rather than kind of dragging your feet and scrunching your feet into sand, when you walk on sand, but just to be more walk, flat. Okay, so now we've had different techniques of how to walk, and we've had different meditations. Some, they did a prayer for other people to find some faith. Okay, so prayer, chanting, because we had all different kinds of people of cultural backgrounds. So we did all different kinds of threads of thought and culture and prayer. Also, we did science, ideas about science to walk on fire. So if you had like a frying pan and it's really super hot and you throw some water on it, and then the water actually just doesn't go away right away. The water kind of jumps around with little drops. Well, at that moment, when that water is dispersed, little drops, there's this space where it's really not on the fire pan. Okay, so there's all these different thoughts. And I remember we were in our circle and meditating or chanting, and I remember with my eyes closed and it's a full moon. And can you hear me? Because I knocked over. Well, anyway, I remember not having any fear. So that's the point. And we were in our circle. My husband let go of my hand, and I see him walk. He goes, or somebody goes, and just remember, I just kind of just, just got into my yoga and my reading, my meditation, and then walked. And it was exhilarating. So when I did walk, there were other people on the other side waiting for me, cheering me on. And it felt like walking on popcorn. But at the same time, you're like, I'm doing this. I am doing this. I'm floating on this. I'm walking on this. I'm physical. I'm a physical, spiritual being. I mean, all of that. All of that was very cosmo. It was very cosmic. When we got to the other side, finished, everybody's cheering, and we did have a bucket of water just so to be, safe. So there was also an element of being safe, nothing reckless. So this whole thing was organized, coordinated. And we were aware that the parapsychologist, the man that was leading us, he had been burnt a few times too. So I knew that. We knew these things, and he told us about it. He was like in Singapore, and he was tying a tiny little lady, a little old lady that was walking really slow, and I think he kind of like something happened. Walking on fire, just it's amazing. I just don't know if I do it again.
Yeah. Well, I think like inherently there's like always risk in everything that we do, and I would imagine, I mean, you tell me, like, and especially since you did that at such an early age, did that change the way that you viewed life from that point? Did that change, your belief in yourself? Because you're saying, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Yeah, it changed a lot. It changed a lot. And sometimes you forget that you do great things.
Absolutely.
Like I was telling you about storing dreams in a box and letting things collect dust. Even telling you the story again and trying to explain everything, all the different segments of it. Yeah. Like my heart just burst again. Like, wow, I got to remember that was a path that I took at an early age, at some kind of initiation to myself. And yes, I think that it's that initiation has kept me striving for unique ways of being, not to be different, but to, when you see that question authority or something like that, or you see that bumper sticker on a car, I'm always, what else? What's more? What else is there? How is this being in life, being here now? But my motto also is, the extraordinary is in the ordinary. So not to be too full of it.
Yeah. And I think like you were touching on something that's so important is sometimes we do forget, because, when you were saying that about, your fire walking experience and how if you could get through that, you could get through anything.
Yeah.
I've had like a similar experience in my life, like when I sat with plant medicine, and I thought to myself, if I can do this, I can do anything. And, but, and of course there's risk associated with that as well. But we do forget sometimes, and that the path is not, it's not linear. It's not like we go from A to B to C to D just like that. It's, because I think we have a tendency of thinking it's linear because, that's kind of this program that we've been conditioned to believe, like time is linear, and, you go through school and you get your job and you get married and this and that, but it's not linear. And especially, our own growth, development, and our own personal journey, it's not linear. It's sometimes, it goes around all these loops. It's a spiral. Sometimes, you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And I think that, like, what's helped me the most is being compassionate with myself when I do forget and when I need to be reminded, because we're all just like learning what it is to be human right now, and this is a relatively new concept. So I think just being patient with ourselves and having a lot of compassion when we do, forget, and when we do have to remind ourselves is so important. And I can also relate so much with having the dusty dreams on the shelf, like on the upper shelf in the back of the closet, like, when you do your spring cleaning and you go through and you're like, oh, that's where that thing was. you know
It's so funny.
it's got like layers and layers of dust on it.
It's so
Yeah,
funny.
and I go ahead.
Oh, well, I literally have a box behind me that I took out 5 days ago, and I've been going through it. I found a Lionel Barrymore print, so because I have some of my grandmother's things, and I was like, looked on the internet, like, oh, it was all dusty, and then I found like my daughter's first journal from first grade. I found all kinds of little drawings that I did. I was looking at this silly little drawing that I did when I was in my daughter was like 9 months old. I was doing this little drawing because I had a paisley pillow, because I love India. Like, I've always wanted to go to India, and I remember having the pillow was one of my closest things to it, besides, my yoga. But I just found this, and I actually did a painting of it. I don't know where the painting is, and I'm just last night I was like, well, why don't you try to sketch it again and try to draw it and paint it or something? And but the box is right there, and you never know what you're gonna find in an old dusty box, like my grandmother's camera.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know. I was like, is there film in it? And my journals and just dusty old wonderful things.
Yeah, and it's never too late. It's never too late to go in the closet and
Go into the closet.
It's never too late to do that. Because
Yes.
I think, like, I can relate with that so much because that's what I did. I would have these dreams that would come into my consciousness, and then for whatever reason, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have the self-esteem. I didn't have the confidence. I was so like locked into this matrix, like programming of, no, you can't do that. Like, you got to live your life like this. And so I'd be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like stick it up there. But then, my greatest fear would be being on my deathbed at the end of my life and knowing that all that stuff is still in there on that shelf, and that I never got it down and I never did anything with it.
I love that you mentioned that, because there's during the last 2 years, my experience of COVID was I was home, but I had a tremendous sense of urgency to live, to revive. And when I've stayed, excuse me, I've been in the same house for over 30 years. And when you move and you uproot, you are constantly either taking something with you or throwing it away. So I had to pretend I was leaving a lot of times. But like you said, like lost memories, lost dreams, and reminders when you go in. Let's go. I heard you say that, it was kind of funny when we was going to the closet, but to me, it's like go within deep into your heart, and what is it that you desire? What do you want? Live a life with live your life. Don't have regrets about coulda, woulda, shoulda. Begin, and it takes that first step. I know this is cliche, first step to 1,000 miles, but you take your first step and you will achieve. It may not be exactly what you thought at the end, because there's all of the different, like you said, layers, the spirals, the loops that shape and create. And that's that non-attachment, continually having compassion for yourself, but the non-attachment to the outcome. But I think the foundation of being in gratitude for what you do have, when you want to go towards a dream, you go living in gratitude every day, taking your steps, being consistent, most of all, believing in yourself, what thoughts you're feeding yourself, and listening doesn't have to be like I'm listening to words, but it's what are you feeling deeply within you that wants to be revealed. And morning and writing, I'm all about, the writing morning pages really support you. And even during this time, that how consistent I have been, there was times where I'll stop and I'm like, whoa, that's why I'm feeling like this. I'm not writing. Yeah. And being, like you said, compassionate, being compassionate to self, and in that, birthing your dream. What do you want to birth? And sometimes you get support in that, just like somebody having a doula, supporting somebody giving birth. That's what coaches are for, or mentors, or taking a class and having a support circle that, like we're in, and believing eyes, somebody that believes in you, to see you, witness you whenever you're down or whenever you're up, or if you're struggling, somebody to hold that space so that your dreams can be dusted off, so the lid of the box can come off, so we can sift through layers of stuff, because maybe it's really not your stuff, maybe it's somebody else's stuff.
Yes. And I was listening to something recently that was really interesting. And the person was saying that, like, the difference between a therapist and a coach is that, you can go to therapy for years and still be talking about the same stuff, or, not really know why you're there, versus if you're working with like a coach or a mentor, they're really going to, look at your blind spots, and whatever it is, like the goal, whatever that goal is for you, getting to like the root of what that's about, what that really is about for you. And maybe there's even like different ways to get there, but having somebody to hold that space for you and to be your cheerleader, and, not to just listen to you talk about the same things over and over, but actually taking the action. And like you were talking about, even if that's baby steps, and then implementing those strategies like the morning pages, writing those 3 pages in your journal every morning to boost your creativity, whatever it is for you, and implementing the self-care. I mean, I consider that self-care too. But it's provided so much support for me, like having other people that see me and witness me and will support me when I need it. Like we don't have to do it alone. And I think a lot of people believe that they do have to.
Well, that's funny because, not funny because, but most of the women that we've come together in our circle, we were all lone wolves, thinking that we had to do it all on our own. And I think when we came in, leaned in, got support to not try to hold it the weight of our dreams, the weight of our world on our shoulders, that we get to share it. So it's like in that sharing and coming together, witnessing is important. It's kind of like how we're wired as human beings. Yes, we need each other. We need each other's support. And now we're all in these big little cubicles, houses, not little, we do our laundry separately. We do our laundry in a water box. We don't go down to the river and make music and pound on, and make patterns and sing songs and
right. Which is kind of what, like, I would like to do that kind of thing eventually, be like living more in a community setting and seeing what that's like. Yeah.
You'll get to know who you are very quickly in those kind of situations.
Yes, I would imagine so. Have you done anything like that, CeCe?
I have, let's say I know a lot of people that have, and maybe I'll go to I've spent many, many weeks and months in different communities at different times, and and I had that little seed in me, just get rid of everything and go live there and just, be creative and be free. And it was enticing. It's because there's a place up north here, 50 miles north. It's sort of a live work situation, community, hot springs. It's where I get my respite. But earlier in this conversation, I was saying I like to be in both and. So I think that was probably why I didn't give up all of this little box and go, because I definitely, if somebody's in that space and they're able to do that, I would definitely go encourage them to do it for sure, like what you're doing. And one time I wanted to maybe do Seva, like at Kripalu. I did travel to New Zealand, and I was there for 3 months a long time ago, and there was something called woofing, and people working at apple orchards or working at a pottery, somebody's pottery studio, and supporting them to live there free and exchange, I should say, exchange.
Yeah. It's pretty much what I'm doing at the moment.
Yes, I know, the dogs and the and it's great that you have this time to do that, because I'm sure you're going to look back at this time, and it's you're going to find the unique ways that it shaped you, and that's what we do in life. We just, especially if you're staying very present, you get to let that shape you, what you'd like to take with you. And then maybe sometimes we get to look back at life and go, whoa, what was I, where was I?
Yeah,
what did I learn?
Absolutely. Well, kind of like what I'm doing right now is listening to my soul and my heart and following whatever it's telling me to do. Maybe it's like, oh, go try this thing, or go live here for a while. And I'm just listening to that because that's a relatively new thing for me, even. Like that's something that I've only started to do probably in the last 3 years.
What has been coming up for you?
Well, let's see. Recently, I do have a plan to go stay at Intentional Community, just to have that experience and see what that's like. Because right now I'm having like more of the work trade experience.
I could see, yeah, I could see how I could feel that for you. Like maybe this is, maybe when the weather shifts, are you gonna maybe think about finding a different place, like you said, intentional community
Yeah, I'm actually
this year?
I'm set to go in March,
Yeah.
to
Where?
going back to Costa Rica.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there's a community down there called Pachamama that I'm gonna go to, and
Is that by the water? Is that south?
it's in Nosara.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'll be there for anywhere from 2 to 3 months. And it's going to be a learning experience, right? To see what do I like? What do I not like? Is this even something that I could possibly do? Because you don't know until you actually experience it. If your soul is kind of calling you and there's some sort of interest there, you're not going to know until you try it. Right. So
I just think it's going to be an amazing experience, you know,
I do
for
too.
you to get to, yeah, to even know more within yourself, what you're capable of. It'll be very interesting. And oh, I mean, just Costa Rica is magical. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, just
definitely.
being in that mana, is gonna revive you
I love
and guide you.
the energies there are so beautiful. I just felt like I felt so alive. There's so much aliveness. There's so much life there in Costa Rica because it's just all jungle. It's all trees and plants and nature, and you're just in it. And even some of the buildings, they build it like out of the natural materials that are there. And there's no I mean, I guess like the city of San Jose is like a little bit different, but for the most part it's just a lot of like small towns all over. And it's not, you don't have like this concrete jungle, it's an actual jungle. And just hearing the sounds of the animals and the birds, I felt there's something in me that definitely came more alive when I
Mhm.
was there.
Yes, definitely lots of aliveness there, lots of regeneration,
Yes.
and you're in nature, so close to nature. There's a lot of there is that element of unknown too, you know, because
uh,
nature's like that.
Story of my
Nature,
life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So nature's always moving. It's definitely not, like you said, concrete. It's not just
Yeah, well, that's kind of the
steady.
thing, is that's kind of how my life has been lately too, is just there's a lot of unknowns. Like it's difficult for me to plan a year from now. It's just kind of not working out like that. Like I have to plan like a few months here and then a few months there. And like I don't even know what I'm going to be doing after Costa Rica. Like I don't think I'll know that until I get there, you know?
Yes, so you're just sort of moving with your internal navigation. You're dancing in life. You're
I'm
in
just
life.
in the flow. I'm just in
You're,
the flow.
not a lot of people get to do that, and there's
No.
a time to be able to do that. I mean, um, we're of the world, and we get to be in all different facets of it. Here we are, but we're not separate. I was like thinking about, like, when you look at the picture of Earth from the stars from above, we're 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 in something really amazing, you know. We're yeah, yeah.
It's
The
yeah, it's
micro and the macro and
incredible. It's incredible. I feel like our human language, we can't even like describe what it is.
yes, yeah, we
It's
can't
just
describe it.
it's
I
just
mean, and
amazing.
different languages have different words for things that's just not even in our language. That's why it's so important to go see the world if you can, and you're experiencing it right now, and you're doing things, and it's inspiring.
Oh, thank you, CeCe. Appreciate that. And and I'm looking forward to I do believe that humans will eventually be communicating on a more of like telepathy where we don't
Mhm.
have to speak as much. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you get to practice that. We just start practicing. Um, remember seeing like a pantomime thing. It was really beautiful. Like, it's like bringing the heart and the mind together and speaking in the balance, speaking and being,
Yes,
just do that.
that is so beautiful. Oh, and tell for the people that are viewing, I would love for you to share a little bit more about what it is that you do. And you're in California, right?
Yeehaw! I'm in California, my hometown, and I too have a transformative program for your creativity, um, lifting your spirits, reviving your creativity, and whatever it is that you need support on. What I basically have done is taken everything I've been doing for 30 years on the table and all the different facets of studies into this element. I love play and delight and humor or laughter. I'm a certified laughter yoga teacher. Um, Dr. Kataria was my instructor. He was the laughter teacher. So I find that, lots of, just smiling and laughter supports your body, helps you with your health and your vitality. And yeah, that's what I was able to rebirth, bringing a program together. And just recently, like the day before Thanksgiving, an online store of all of my, I just pulled together some collections of things I've done throughout the last 25 years. Let me show you.
Yeah, show us some stuff. Let me see.
Um, well, I have an inspired print of this,
Oh,
the
that's
butterfly. I've done
beautiful.
several. This is a triptych. That means it's got two other paintings that go with it. Um, because I want people also to be aware of nature. This is something I did a long time ago. I was a dragonfly lady. I used to be an art director for a multicultural afternoon enrichment program, and I would also go around the whole schools teaching them how to draw.
That's beautiful.
So
I love
this is
that. I
fun
love
and
the
basic.
colors in the
Yeah,
back.
this is a fun canvas. So what I've done, you need to go visit CeCeSpirit.com, and it'll direct
Yeah, and
you. Or
I'll
you can follow me on Instagram, because then it can take you directly to my new other store, Shopify. So here's a sticker,
oh, that's super cool.
and I have a special going on right now. If you shop and spend $20, you get a free big sticker.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'll
I'll,
definitely I'll connect with you when we're done and get all your links and put them in the description so people can click on them and easily find you. And those look like they would be great Christmas presents too, huh?
yes, or give gifts to your special. And I have affirmations on them, like
Oh, what
you
does that
know,
one say? I can't see
this
it.
one says, "My creativity is valuable."
Oh, I love that.
And yeah, I'm excited about this. This is really exciting. I got pillows with beautiful art on it. I have one actual pillow with this beautiful little drawing that I did out of a sketchbook, and then I painted it. And she's got a crown of roses, and she's got the stars and moons around her, and she's looking within. So she's listening within. I'm looking here because I have the little picture on my wall. So she's a pillow, and it's so cute. And then a great painting I did, a little Krishna, his beautiful face, and that's in a blanket form. So it's like, wrap yourself up in devotional love, and sip your coffee, and I have a journal. Let's see, I have several different journals, different covers for the journal. This one's a little more expressive and abstract. There's a chrysalis.
Wow.
Yeah, this is from a different layout program I did, but anyways, she's merging from the
How
chrysalis.
perfect is that too for someone to do their 3 morning pages in?
Exactly. I am transformed.
I love that. I love because I see a lot of stuff that's just like art on something, but I love that you've brought in that affirmation at the same time because the affirmations are so powerful.
Key. Definitely. Affirmations, what you are feeding your inner creative, your inner child, what you're saying, is it's important. That is one thing to listen to. That is something to listen to. Yeah. So thank you, Leigh. Thank you for having a conscious conversation. I'd love to join you again for sure. I would also like to invite the audience, if you're listening to this and it sounds intriguing, to please visit or DM me on Instagram. You can check me out there, CeCe Spirit. I have my bio and links. I think that's the best way to find me is come on board on the Instagram.
Check her out on the Insta.
Thank you. I almost thought we'd do some laughter today, but I see that it's almost time. If you want to do a
we've got some
Mona Lisa laughter, we've got
some time. Let's do it.
Okay, so let's all I like to invite everyone right now. If you're watching here, you can stand up. If you want to stay seated, that's okay. But let's just invite a nice deep breath in from your head to your toes and rolling your shoulders back. Let's roll those shoulders a couple more times and breathing. Maybe some sound. A little bouncy bounce. Shoulders up and down. Let the jaw relax a little bit. And let your head go left, right. No. And look up and down. Yes. Roll the shoulders back. Let's bring our hands together. Warming up the body a little bit. You're going to make a little fire in your hands and then bring that energy to yourself, like, oh, yeah. And cupping your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Let your hands gently fall down to your face. There we go. So laughter is healing because it gets the thymus moving and the lymphatic system moving. Those are systems that need to move. If we move, it moves. So we get to, that's what the shaking's all about. Laughter yoga has 4 elements, patterns, and chanting, clapping. We can do ho ho, ha ha ha, ho ho, ha ha ha, or ho ho, ha ha ha. Just by doing that, you're probably giggling. Eye contact, which is now a lot of us can't get like really close and be laughing in somebody's face at the moment, right? COVID. But we get to do things like this. Eye contact, laughing, chanting, ho ho, ha ha, chanting, clapping, and breathing is the pranayama, that's where the element. Now his wife is a yoga teacher, and that's where it all kind of combination. So all right. But I do want to tell you one more thing, because it's something that he likes us to tell people. It started with about 5 people in 1995 in Bombay, India, in a park, because he started writing an article about laughter. And now you've got like this global hundreds and thousands of people laughing around the world, from places in Russia to Paris, France, Japan, to California and beyond. Okay, so let's do trying to think of a laughter exercise. Let's do the Mona Lisa. So just bringing the little bit of your lips. When you feel that, when you do that, do you feel the loop around your ear? So humming.
Just because I feel so silly doing that.
See, good job. And then, very good, very good. Yay! That's the element of childlike play. Woo! And the 1 meter laughter looks like this. Eh, eh, eh. Would you like to try it?
Sure.
Here we go.
Okay.
Eh, 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 eh.
Oh my God.
I don't hear you. Let's hear you again.
Oh, I was definitely laughing.
Come on. Eh, eh, eh. Very good. Very good. Yay!
Oh my gosh. I think I'm crying a little bit.
I mean, what was that? Like less than a minute of laughter?
You crack me up. Oh my gosh. And you're like really reminding me the importance of that. I mean, yeah, I don't do that enough. I don't do that enough.
Well, you don't have, and also, okay, there's so many different ways of doing this laughter yoga. You can do a silent laughter.
A silent laughter.
Very good, very good. So if you have people in your house and you want to do like a laughter yoga practice, you don't even need to use a mirror, but let's say you did. You could put on a timer and say, okay, I'm going to laugh and smile for 1 minute. I'm going to silently laugh for 1 minute and look at myself in the mirror. So you set your little timer. And you breathe. And you'll do that for a whole minute.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really
You can laugh when you're driving too.
I
I do sometimes. I laugh. Especially if I need it, a mind shift. I'll laugh and say, just laugh. Especially if you need to shake off someone's energy and you're driving, just
yeah,
no,
right?
I'm not going there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a way to like move energy through the body, and also it's like releasing all those feel-good chemicals in your brain at the same time, dopamine and serotonin and all that good stuff.
So fake it till you make it is really, it's not just counting somebody's having an issue or a situation, but if you do take a moment to fake it until you make it, even just faking it, let's say you don't even make it, it's shifting because actually, what is it? The mind follows the body. So just do it. Your monkey mind's gonna go, oh, you're stupid. What are you doing? This is ridiculous. But that's part of some laughter yoga. We can come back for laughter yoga sometime.
Yeah, that would be so great. And like, I know, like, I have a tendency, like, I'm a pretty laughy person anyway. Like, I
You're
have a
giggly.
tendency to just kind of like laugh randomly. But like for people that don't, what would be the biggest tip if they're trying to get themselves in that space of just being able to laugh like that? Like,
I
should they
think,
watch something funny that they think is funny, or
well, I mean, you know, humor is healing. And if you've ever watched The Secret or read it, you know that people have shifted by watching comedy and humor. Funny thing about laughter yoga, it's really not about humor at all. It's really just about the exercises that bring on laughter for no reason. So basically, motto is laugh for no reason. And if somebody is needing to bring a little, let's call it joy or endorphins, what we just did was just remembering, you could either, let's call it either the Buddha smile or the Mona Lisa smile. Just by the mere act of curling this up, you're shifting alchemy.
yes, I love that.
Just by the energy right here. And if you do this, you can't be in that position. You just wanna. It's like sunshine rising.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you embody. So that's perfect.
Oh, good. Thank you. And humming,
Yeah.
humming. Hmm. Hmm.
That was
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a great man. What a great biohack. What a great biohack. I'd be so curious to see, like, and maybe I'll do this as an experiment, CeCe. Maybe I'll just like do this once a day for the next 30 days and see what
Yes.
happens.
Yes. And how about just do the 1 minute, challenge, and maybe, I don't know, are you up for like videotaping yourself and then you can like speed it?
Oh man.
And you can speed it up in like a little GIF.
Oh my God.
See, that's just goofy. So goofy's
Oh.
good. So plug
Goofy is
yourself in with
good.
some
Goofy is
goofiness.
good. We need more,
humor.
we just need more of this right now, especially right now. Cause I feel like, I mean, even before, this specific little, I don't even know what to say, use code names, whatever. But before this time, I feel like everybody was so serious, and now people are getting like more serious. And, just even like, I don't really ever watch the news, but if you do turn it on, it's just like, whoa, it's just crazy. So I think it's so important to implement the joy, the laughter, the play, the dance, the singing, basically any form of play is so important, because I'm such a strong proponent of that, because I think as adults we forget how to do that, and we just get so dang serious all the time about everything, and that's not what life is supposed to be about. Like, life is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be full of play, we're supposed to enjoy it. Like, that's why we're here. It's this beautiful experience and a beautiful opportunity to enjoy the experiences and the beauty and everything that life is. So thank you so much, CeCe, for
Thank you.
bringing that
Thank
to
you for having me.
us. uh
Thank you so
so
much. Thank you.
honored, such a gift, and I love your presence so much, and I would love to have you come back on next year sometime. And
let's do that. Let's hear about your
yeah,
last.
hear about my 30-day
serious. I'm like taking notes. I'll be calling you.
And yeah, and if you guys want to connect with CeCe, I'm going to drop all of her links in the description of this video. And if you're interested in working more with her, or checking out her products, or checking out her program, she's an amazing person. If you feel at all, aligned, or you're resonating with her at all, definitely reach out to her and check her out.